Now, sitting next to me, she's been patiently waiting here, but then she is a very patient lady that could help you to bring joy to your life, is Vanda North. Vanda, welcome to QVC. Great to see you again.
Thank you very much, Dale.
We've been having a chat, Vanda and I, about this, and I'm very interested in positive thoughts. I'm very interested in being creative, and you really have well, I'll let you describe what it is, but you've put together a very, very easy to follow, and better still, an enjoyable way. And you've called it the Joy Journey.
Yes.
Now, could you elaborate on it, the Joy Journey?
Oh, definitely.
What exactly is that?
Well, what I wanted to do was to look at, first of all, are people joyous? Right. And I found that many people didn't really feel that they had a great deal of joy in their life, or they were okay, but there could be more. Yes. Or they were in a negative place with some crisis, or they felt that they were in a place without a lot of choice. Right. And this is why, of course, so many people escape. They escape with drugs or alcohol or just maybe television or video, but they escape rather than missing the beauty of living now and having a joyous life. Yes. So it's been actually about a 50-year journey for myself in looking at where are people, what seem to be the problems, and then what can be done, what are the foundations, what are the necessary things to help people help themselves. Right.
Because this is what this is all about, isn't it?
Yes.
You want to stimulate people, you want to encourage people to help themselves. You're not going to change their lives, but they could change their lives.
Exactly, and it's not a lot of work. And I think for people at home at this time of night, they've done a long, hard day. They're sitting there and they think, yes, joy, a little bit more joy would be lovely, but work, no, I don't want to do anything else. And so this program is really very simple, very practical, but there's also a tremendous amount of information. We cover 6 main topics. The first 2 topics are who am I and why am I here? Now those are sort of diving right in at the deep end.
Absolutely,
because an awful lot of people go through a large part of life not knowing the answers to either of those.
Yeah, that's a good point.
So if you don't know who you are, you might go around with that little fear behind you that says, if people really find out about me, they're not going to like me. Now that you can't be joyous if you've got that in the inside of you. Having a purpose in life, why am I here, doesn't actually change. We still have to do all the everyday, I mean the washing up. I'm not going to get rid of that. But the difference about having a purpose is that every single thing that you do is done towards a direction. It gives you energy. It puts everything under a big umbrella that says this matters. Now, a lot of people get afraid and say, you know, who am I to think that I could have a purpose? I'm not a prestigious enough person. And everyone can have a purpose wherever they are in life. And I have a lovely little story from my mother, 88 and a half years old, sends her washing off. And one day she phoned and she said, darling, my washing has come back and it's so beautifully hand pressed. You know, someone in a hot laundromat somewhere was caring, and their service was to be able to make it so that when somebody gets it back, they go, whoa, look, this is really lovely. So it doesn't matter who you are, where you are. It's in feeling that you have a purpose in what you're doing. So that's the first 2. Then we get into, okay, now I've got the foundation. How do I deal with life? Because life is still coming at me. So we look at the 2 topics of managing change and making choices.
Because change is something we tend to resist, don't we? And it's inevitable.
Yes. I mean, change is life. It's poorly named because change says, okay, I'll go through this and then it'll get back to normal. Well, of course, it never does. So how do you manage that? How do you make that so that you can work with that energy positively? I mean, the difference is if I say, we're going to change everything around you, then you might feel, oh, no, I don't think you are, and you start to resist and push back. If you feel, okay, what area of control do I still have, even though there may be some aspects then you grab the reins and you say, righty-ho, look, I'd like to do this and this and this within my area of control.
Yes. Yeah.
So we've got control and choice, and then we get into the celebration. The last two are the celebration, the joys, the gifts of life, and then creating a joy journey.
Because what that really is something, I mean, when you think about it, there's so much in life, if you actually stop and think back, that you know, good things that have happened to you. And obviously we all remember bad things as well that have happened to us. And this, am I to take it that if I was feeling pretty good about my life, I could still find things that I could enjoy better, as you said, the joy element, that my life could still improve. So this isn't just for somebody who perhaps is feeling pretty low, pretty down, pretty negative at the moment. That obviously is going to be something they're going to get benefit from.
Yes.
But I don't have to be in that state.
No, you can enter this really at many different points. So if you are having a crisis, it's a great time.
Yes.
If you know someone, a dear friend, it's a great time.
Yeah.
On the other hand, if things are fairly flat, and I find for most people, it's just that it's sort of so-so, it's not going anywhere. They think, is this all there is? You know, well, basically I'm okay, but gosh, you know, and particularly if you get to a birthday with a 0 at the end, and you wake up that morning and you think, where have the last 10 years gone? And then you think, now what's it worth? What is the, where is the value?
Well, people talk about crises, and they always say, oh, he's going through a midlife crisis, or she's going through a such and such crisis. And I think it's really that you get to a certain age, and some people that's 20, very often it's in your 40s, where you think, what have I achieved?
Yes.
And what can I then achieve? And I think sometimes you almost need a kind of a crutch to lean on. And somebody, I mean, you practice what you preach, because everybody's been saying, oh, isn't Vanda lovely? I'm going to embarrass you now. They've all been saying, she's so nice and relaxed. And in a television studio, we don't always get nice, relaxed people.
Yes.
You know? and the truth is that you do have this aura of relaxation. Now, I know that obviously it's something that you presumably have to work at, and then does it become natural, or have you always been like this?
Play at.
Play.
See, it's just the little difference of the attitude around it. If you think you have to work, I mean, joy, you work at joy, that doesn't quite go together. But play at it, yes. Find some things, explore. This is why we've set this up, so that you've got information. I chat you through some awarenesses, really just shifting your thinking, not big things to do. Then we give you this joy journal. Now, this is to go along with each of the topics. And the idea is that in here we have got mind maps. And these mind maps that you can fill in, answer questions as you're going along, and explore the topic at another level. Mind maps created by Tony Buzan, and I know you've had him on several times recently. And it's a wonderful way to begin to take things that are thoughts that often seem to run away a little bit. And if you want to try and capture them and look at them and think, oh, look at that, this is working, that's not working. Let me see what I can do about that part. This is a great way to do it. And then the third and final part are some relaxation meditations. And here what I do is invite people to come along for about 15 or 20 minutes with some beautiful music in the background, and just to explore the topic, use their imagination. They can follow my suggestions, or they can manage their own, whatever they would like to do, and just have the three aspects, because everybody comes at information in a different way. The other thing that I would say from people that have gone through this is they say it's chock-a-block full of stuff. And my thought was to really set out a smorgasbord, so that wherever you are, you come through it, you take what you need now, and then you go on and you think, okay, I'm all right for a while, and pop it on the shelf. And maybe it'll be a year, and then suddenly something else will happen in life, and you'll say, uh-oh, what do I do to handle this one? And then you say, oop, take it back off, because there'll be something else and something else and something else.
So this isn't, you know, I was going to say, if anybody's thinking, if you're the slightest bit interested in one tiny thing that Vanda has touched on, then I would say order this, because we give you that 30-day money-back guarantee.
Absolutely.
But you made the point to me earlier, Vanda. You said, Dale, I don't want you to think you've just got to cram in, you know, listen to all those CDs, and then that's it. You'll find that you revisit this time and time again.
Exactly.
And I think that therefore it's a continual process. It's not just a one-off course. And also you don't even make it, you haven't used the word course, I used that, because you make it sound more fun than a course. A course sounds like work. But you said about joy. You watch children they have joy.
Yes.
They don't think about it. They don't even know it's called joy. They just have it.
That's exactly.
Then as we get older, we seem to put it away in a cupboard somewhere.
Which is
sometimes.
why it's just reminding you.
Yeah.
I don't need you to do anything other than
Right.
be reminded that that is your natural state, and to get back to that natural state. And, you know, joy doesn't have to look sort of bubbly and crashing around all over the place. Joy can be very calm and very quiet, or it can be bubbly. It can even disappear under the surface. I mean, a funeral maybe isn't an over place to be, but you can still be celebrating that person's life. You can still be basically calm and content.
So you're finding the positive in the negative.
Exactly.
I said to you that I've always tried to be, and people that know me will know that this tends to be the case, but I'm only human and I fail miserably sometimes, but I always try to be positive. I try and think, let's look at this in a positive way rather than a negative way.
Yes.
You know, and I try to say the glass is half full rather than half empty. And then you put another twist on that. What did you say to me?
Well, I said another way to look at it is to say that the glass is completely full. It just happens that half of it is water and half of it is air.
So
And so
looking at
you
it in a different way.
Exactly. It's
Yeah.
just those teeny little shifts.
Yeah.
You were talking about choices. You know, quite frequently people will feel that life is really awful, and,
Yes.
and it can be really awful.
Yes.
Now, at that point, you can say, right, 96% of my life is really bad. And, you know, part of this is it is real. It's not just
Yes.
saying, Pollyanna, the world is wonderful. It
Exactly.
is not
Yeah.
doing that. It's
Yeah.
saying, if 96% is awful, then you have a choice. You can be in that 96% and think, oh, it is awful, it is terrible. Or you can say, look, there's 4%. The sun did shine briefly this
Yeah.
morning. I did get a perfect cup of tea, just
Yes.
the right temperature, just
Right.
the right color. And you can move yourself into that 4%. Now, from the 4%, you're going to have a lot more energy,
Yeah.
a lot more up feeling that
Yes.
I can start to push back. Maybe I can
Yes.
get one more. I can get
Yeah.
5%. Maybe I can get to 7%. Hey, look, I've got back to 90%. Still 90% is bad, but I'm in the 10% and I'm winning.
You've increased, exactly. And you're
Isn't
on a
that
roll
gonna
then,
make-
aren't
of
you?
course you are.
Small at a time.
Exactly.
I mean, I said to you before, we really needed an hour on this product
Happily.
because we could just talk and talk and talk about it. I think really, you know, whether you're sitting at home now saying my life's okay, or you're sitting at home and you're really low about all sorts of things, or you're really down about one thing, but it's a big problem. Why not try this? I can't promise you that it will solve your problems or help you to solve your problems, but I'm sure there will be something in there for somebody who's watching right now. So give it a try. That's the first step, isn't it? Pick up the
Absolutely.
telephone or press that red button if you're watching on Sky Digital. Order 731414. Joy Journey by Vanda. It's a 6 CD set, £27 and 4 pence, and it's not just something you listen to those 6 CDs, it is something that you will revisit and revisit. Something we didn't mention, there's apparently some beautiful music on there by Lex McKee.
Yes,
as
it's
well.
original music. You could just play the meditations and the relaxations. Just do those when you get home for 15 minutes every night. I mean, just that would do it.
We're completely out of time with this. You're going to have to give it a try yourselves at home. 30-day money-back guarantee. If you're not satisfied, then you send it back to us. Vanda, a pleasure.
Dale, thank you
so
very much
I'm all
indeed.
relaxed now. I'm in a chilled state just talking to you.
Wonderful.
It's that aura that you have. Go, really. It's all about just smile.